Welcome back to the AB Scale Project. I'm Krieger. This is Off Bravo, and today we are looking at the Velocitron 500 Override. And she looks really good. I mean, very much reminiscent of the original. See, a lot, really clean backpack. Looks really good. A little bit of hollowness down here, but that's okay to me. Seems to be alright. Which looks really good. She comes with her weapon that's reminiscent of the original one. And people have already started making cyber keys for the back, so you can do that from Cybertron. So let's bring in our original Cybertron mold. Again, I only own the GTS, so this is what we have for compare. And between the two, yeah, this is a lot cleaner. I mean, this is a little chunky, little messy, very wide on the top, where this very slimmed down, much more proportionate, doesn't have floppy arm syndrome, but otherwise, the only thing, probably could have put the gold on the top of the feet, but otherwise, I'm pretty happy with her. Alright, let's look at vehicle mode. And here we have Override in her car mode, and it looks really good. Looks really close to the original. Really neat. And the weapon stows just like the original did. We'll go ahead and bring in the original. And say pretty close, a little bit smaller, but really good. Of course, I don't have the weapon for my original, and this is the GTS version. But anyway, you can see that they did a really good job of recreating her. My only complaint about the alt mode is that it's missing the gold on the feet for the headlights. But, you know, some paint, or I've got some gold sticker stock left over from a custom I could put on there. But otherwise, I really like it. Definitely that futuristic Cybertronian race car. So yeah, I mean, even the head bit sticking up doesn't bother me because it, you know, they did it on the original. So yeah, that's about the only thing I change is give her gold toe polish. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So, is this our new Cybertron IDW Override? I'm going to say yes, just because it's a lot cleaner figure, a lot tighter, and just, yeah, just much more proportionate. So overall, yeah, for Cybertron IDW, go with the Velocitron 500. All right, let's go on to the next one. Next up, we have the Velocitron 500 IDW Blurr, and he looks really good. I really dig that head sculpt. Let's focus in on that. And it just looks really good. Very close to the iconic IDW Comics look. So, definitely looks a lot better. They did some shoulder remolding to make the drive look home. The pylons are different. We'll get into that more on the vehicle mode. Overall, it looks good. He still comes with the spark welder that the original Blur of this mold came with, so we'll just take that off and set that aside for now. The gun, of course, is the same gun, just done in the lighter blue, so not too bad. Here is the original and our current winner. And you see, like I said, two different looks. And like I said, he did use this look in the IDW comics for a little while, but now that we have a serious competitor for this look, we'll do a deep dive into this specific look. So, go ahead and move him. There's only two major competitors in that arena, so we'll bring in the first one, which is the other Hasbro offering that had that IDW head. And honestly, I'm not a huge fan of this mold. I only like it for drift. Just these shoulders aren't great. It's very clunky. Like I said, this look only works for drift. I mean, they did briefly pass by it in the comics, but not a huge fan. If you don't have it, I wouldn't say don't go out of your way to get it. I'd say just get this guy for your IDW Blur. So, our other competitor in that arena is the SXS Overclocking. Now, I had originally disregarded him for scale, and you can see that still bears out here. This is actually kind of more of a almost masterpiece scale. Not really chug scale. Alright, let's take a look at vehicle mode. And we got the IDW Blur in his alt mode, and a couple things just, kind of stick out right at the beginning. They gave him the forward wheels like the comics, but they don't contact the ground because it's still his feet holding him up. They still give him the hover car, and these have loosened up over time and reuses of this mold. They don't like to stay on, and plus, from the very beginning, I just haven't been a huge fan of this stowage method of the gun because it sticks out so far. But yeah, otherwise, from this angle, and we take that off. From this angle, it looks great. I mean, this is basically what we got in the original IDW run, and they kind of rehashed it in the 2019 run when they did the Wreckers comics. So let's go ahead and compare it to our current winner. I'll go ahead and take the nose gun off of it. Alright. And we see, this is definitely G1, and it also appeared in the IDW comics like I've harped on before, but now we actually have a genuine competitor for the IDW look. We got comic look and the G1, which there's some common elements, but still distinct enough to make a difference. Alright. We'll bring in our other Hasbro offering, which is, it's the Drift Coupe. Not really, I mean, this did appear in IDW once, but to me, this isn't the Blur we want to see. This is the Blur that we're looking for. So, take him out. And our last offering for the IDW look is the SXS overclocking, and we see, he's huge. The only thing that I might do is like have these style rockets on the back of the Velocitron 500 Blur just to give it that final, over the top push of being the 2005 IDW Blur. But otherwise, this is just kind of a G1 Blur on steroids. But anyway, so let's go to final thoughts. One thing I did forget to mention earlier when I was talking about the new mold is that there is a little bit of mold degradation in the legs, just because he's a little floppy in the leg area, where, the original is just rock solid. That's not going anywhere. So after going through a couple iterations, this one is starting to loosen up a bit. Of course, you can put some furniture polish in there or something and just tighten that up. So not a game breaker, just an FYI for the consumer. Anyway, so is this our new IDW Blur? So we'll take this one out, and this one, the Studio Series, will remain our G1 Blur. So we're going to take him out for now. Between our last three molds here, let's bring him to the forefront. I'm taking out the Generations just because, like I said, it's very clunky body, and we like a more streamlined Blur, so it's out. And of course, the overclocking is almost masterpiece scale, so it's out. So for our IDW Blur, we have a new winner, the Velocitron 500 Blur. Alright, let's go ahead and close out. So that's it for today. We got a brand new Override and IDW Blur, and both of these I think are really good figures. So, thanks for joining us today on the AB Scout Project. If there's a character you'd like to see, put your request in the comments below, although there aren't too many left. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, ring that bell, and I'll see y'all later.